Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and get this shit over with. Gosh, how have you guys been? It's been such a very long time since I last posted a video. At least I think so. It's been 2 months already. My God. Oh goodness. It feels really great to be back. Hello there everyone. My name is Kirsten. So as you guys can already tell from the title of this video alone, I am officially back in business. Yes, people, I just got back from my vacation and now I'm going back into my routine of making videos and whatever else I'm gonna be doing on this channel and my personal life and whatnot. But it feels really great to be back and I'm really happy that I can start making more of my videos again. But with that announcement being out of the way, since of course we are reaching towards the end of August already, I figured since I've been away, I figured I would go ahead and catch up on 2 months while I was away and while I was gone in particular. To be more specific, I'm gonna be covering the months of June and July since August isn't over yet. So I figured may as well cover them while I'm back, right? So that's what I'm gonna do today. Yeah, I'm not gonna say much, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right on into this topic in particular of my monthly favorites for June and July. So to begin with some of the books that I actually had a chance to read, especially while I was on vacation, I figured I would go ahead and show you guys what I read. I believe it's during parts of June, parts of July. I was kind of all over the place with my reading this year for some weird reason, but luckily I did finish it before I left for my vacation. So the book that I decided to read while I was on my vacation, this book in particular is called Audition Everything an Actor Needs to Know to Get the Part by Michelle or Michael Shurtlift, something like that, introduced by Bob Fosse or Fosse, something like that. But yeah, I've heard a lot about this book and something that actors should definitely read if they're interested in getting the part, of course. So this book in particular I felt was really insightful to read. There was a lot of things that are covered into chapters in particular that helps you get the part. Everything from what to expect to do in an audition afterwards and so on. So if you guys are interested in doing acting, or if you're interested in learning about how auditions work and everything else like that, I highly recommend you guys go ahead and read this book because I definitely got a lot of information on how auditions work and everything. So yeah, very good book. I couldn't recommend this to actors and inspiring actors well enough. So yeah, really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed this. There was definitely quite a few movies and TV shows that I had a chance to watch over the summer. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin with some of the things I watched before I left for my vacation. So I believe last time in my monthly favorites video, I mentioned to you guys that I was in the middle of binge watching Game of Thrones all over again. I finished it all the way up until season 4, I believe. And then, of course, I finished up seasons 5 through 8 before I ended up leaving for my vacation, because my grandmother wanted to binge watch Game of Thrones, so I figured may as well go ahead and watch it with her or something along the lines. So that is exactly what I did. And of course, another TV show I had a chance to watch, but unfortunately I didn't have a chance to finish watching it for some weird reason, and that is, of course, season 5 of The Vampire Diaries. And sadly enough, right after my vacation started, I didn't bother to watch it for some weird reason. I was just so caught up in doing other things and watching other things with my other grandmother from Indiana. So, and now that I'm back at home again, I can finally go back to rewatching it again, or excuse me, not rewatching it, continuing where I left off with season 5 of The Vampire Diaries. I rewatched it a few months back or so, and I've been addicted and in love with this so much, so I was really happy about that. And one movie in particular that I had a chance to watch before my vacation actually is, of course, Charlie Said. It is a movie about Charles Manson and his group of family or people that he influenced and relatively brainwashed into being a part of his cult. So I thought that was really a very interesting movie So now moving on to the TV shows and movies that I had a chance to watch for July. I had a chance to watch quite a few things while I was on my vacation, of course. I got to watch The Upsiders. I remember watching that movie a long time ago, long before it got remade into like the American version. Before it got remade, it was originally a foreign French film or something like that. It was a relatively funny movie, and the fact that I got to watch the English version of this movie was just as good as the original that was made into a foreign film years ago. And the fact that it got remade into like this fantastic movie, I was easily pleased and relatively surprised by how good the movie actually was. Also, speaking of funny movies, another movie that I had a chance to watch, it is a older film. I believe it came out in like the 1980s or so, and it is called Rain Man, and it is with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. It is a relatively funny movie. I can't recall the times that I've cracked up so hard watching this movie. There was also one movie in particular that I had a chance to watch in theaters actually, and this movie in particular I grew up watching when I was really little, called The Lion King. And The Lion King got remade into like this live action film. Story-wise, I wasn't expecting much, but speaking about other things that I've noticed from the movie is that, you know, it looked gorgeous graphically, but at the same time, there was also other parts I wasn't very pleased with. I still like the original better than the remake, but the remake actually wasn't too bad. In my honest opinion, it wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it wasn't that great either. But overall, I enjoyed watching the movie altogether, since it brought back memories of when I used to watch it as a kid, so I guess you could say that's a plus in that department. I watched Stranger Things season 3. I got to watch parts of it with my grandmother, and for some weird reason, we didn't finish all of it simply because my grandmother wasn't really interested in watching the full TV show of season 3 for some weird reason, so we stopped watching it altogether. And I figured, you know, for next month or sometime this month or so, I figured I'd watch it by myself and, you know, see how well it's doing and whatnot. But anyway, 2 other TV shows that I had a chance to watch. One of them I've already finished, and the other I've never seen before. It's a relatively new TV show. But to begin with, the one that I decided to rewatch and relive all over again, it is, of course, Beauty and the Beast. And honestly, I only got to watch all of season 1 and parts of season 2. And then as soon as I got back home, I never bothered to finish it in time, unfortunately. But it's still a relatively good TV show. It's very action-packed and it's very romantic in some parts. I really do love it for very many different reasons. And of course, final TV show that I had a chance to watch that was relatively new to me, but most definitely not least, it is definitely, I think it's called In the Dark. It's basically a murder mystery about like this blind woman and her friend being murdered and trying to solve the case of what actually happened to her friend. It was actually a very interesting TV show. I'm glad I got to watch all of it, and I cannot wait until season 2 comes out. And it's relatively available on Netflix if you guys are interested in checking that out. I was easily impressed with everything that I decided to watch this year. Surprisingly, I was supposed to cover this in my previous monthly favorites video, but unfortunately I never had a chance to cover that part of the video for some weird unknown reason. But I figured I would go ahead and give it a shot anyway. So as you guys probably already know, I finished watching Game of Thrones, as you guys already know, because I explained that earlier. I started playing actually quite a few games through my phone recently. So one of them was, of course, Game of Thrones Conquest, and it's relatively similar to playing Final Fantasy 15, A New Empire, and I was really impressed and I was really pleased with the video game for a while. And another video game from my phone that I had a chance to play. This one is actually something I'm very addicted to, and it is called Murder in the Alps. It's about this woman that works as a journalist, and she enjoys like murder mysteries and just goes about solving problems and everything else like that. It's a relatively cool game. I honestly enjoyed it. And another game that I have also been loving, it is called Be the King, and it's kind of something king related, but it's more like an emperor related video game. I don't know how to explain that video game to be specific, but I really enjoyed that game so much. I'm highly addicted to it, and I get into Asian culture anyway, so that was definitely a plus in my book. Another game that I have also been playing on my phone recently, it is a puzzle game, and as you guys may or may not have known, I enjoy playing puzzles so much, and the fact that I found a game app for it, I was easily impressed and pleased with it. I get into puzzles very, very much. Another game that I also played for a while and then I had to stop because I feel like that was controlling my life for who knows how long, to be exact, but basically it is called Happy Colors, and it's like a number color game of some kind, and I was really addicted for a while and then I had to stop because I feel like it was overtaking my life pretty much. So that's another reason why I stopped. 2 other games I also wanted to mention. One of them is called Word Stacks, and I think it is relatively interesting to play and I really enjoy it. Finally, last but most definitely not least, it is an app I also played not that long ago actually, and it is called Chapters. And basically what Chapters is basically you enter in the app and you get to play one of these random stories based off of the chapters that you end up reading in one of the stories. They have huge selections of stories to choose from, and you can interact with the stories and everything else like that. Create your own scenarios and things like that. So I thought that was really interesting. I never thought I would be able to get into those kind of games, but I relatively enjoyed it. So for this month, all I did was I played plenty of app games, that is definitely for sure. I relatively enjoy them. So to begin with some of the travel and events section of this video, you guys have already known that I was on vacation for roughly almost 2 months, but 2 months to be specific, since of course I'm now uploading my video. I've been into Michigan a few times, and obviously the majority of the time that I stayed there I was in Indiana, of course. For Michigan, I went up there a few times for fun. One of them was to go to like a grocery store or something with my grandmother from Indiana, of course. And other times that we went up there to like a car show, and another time we went up there for the mall, and it's a really nice mall, and it's closer to Detroit actually, but I don't remember the name of the place where the mall was actually located at, but it's a really nice mall and I relatively enjoyed it. While I was in Indiana, I visited Indianapolis a few times. Normally I land in the Detroit airport, and this year I decided to fly into the Indianapolis airport, and the Indianapolis airport was surprisingly really nice. I've been into Indianapolis a few times, other than to and after the airport or whatnot. So went down there another time to go see a concert. I actually went to go see a lot of bands this year actually, and it's really fun. Lots of concerts that I've been to. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have pretty much already known this from my stories and whatnot. But in case if you haven't seen that on my Instagram stories, you'll definitely see this in this upcoming vlog clips like I did last year. So same concept, just a different year. But anyway, and also I went into Fort Wayne a few times for shopping and eating, and going there for a few concerts, definitely for sure. And that's pretty much it. Lots of traveling and lots of events that I actually attended to this year. So when I went to go see Breaking Benjamin, it was in Noblesville, Indiana. It's closer to Indianapolis actually. So when I went to go see that band, surprisingly there were like a few other people that were playing there too. Two of these people I wasn't actually familiar with, and it was of course Del Monte that ended up playing there first, and then it was Dorothy, and both of these ladies were actually not too bad. But then before Breaking Benjamin played on air, there were like 2 other bands I was familiar with, so they went to go play straight after Del Monte and Dorothy. So the first band that ended up playing first and foremost after Del Monte and Dorothy, of course, was of course 3 Days Grace, and they were actually pretty cool to listen to in concert. I thought that was pretty cool. And also Chevelle played right after 3 Days of Grace, and since I got to listen to them in concert, I have been falling in love with their music all over again. And I grew up listening to that kind of music with my dad back in the day, so it definitely brought back so much memories, and I was really happy about that. And then finally after Chevelle, it was Breaking Benjamin, and my goodness, I went to go see quite a few bands this year. So one concert and like 4 or 5 other people that I ended up seeing from there in Noblesville was actually quite a treat, and I relatively enjoyed it. And then of course before that, I think maybe a few years ago or so, I went to go see Brit Floyd, and I got to see them again in concert. Their light show was actually pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Very, very interesting, of course. And let's see, I briefly got to see Loverboy, and I think that was pretty much it, to be honest. But definitely quite a few people that I ended up going to see in concert. It was really fun. But yeah, it was definitely quite a few concerts I ended up going to see, and of course, lots of cool stuff that I ended up doing while I was on my vacation, which you guys will be able to see relatively soon. So expect that sometime in the future. There's definitely quite a few things that I got to try out that was relatively new to me. So the first thing I really wanted to cover, it is by the Texas Tamale Company, and it is the black bean filling tamale. And surprisingly enough, this stuff doesn't actually have any lard in it, so I was really happy about that. So I get to try that one out, and I was relatively pleased. I also had a chance to try out Gardine's chicken florini, I think it's called. It was really good, and I was relatively surprised by how good it actually was. Also by the same company, by Gardine, I also got to try out the vegan sausage patties, which were not too bad. I was easily pleased. And there were these spring rolls that I ended up trying out from Costco, and they were really good and very refreshing in some weird way for some weird reason. I was really surprised. I also got to try out Ezekiel sprouted cereal, and it was really good. And I did heard of Ezekiel, but I never actually got to try out their brand before until just recently, that is. And their cereal is really good. When I went into Cinnaholic, I tried out their brownies, and I thought they were pretty good. So you can't go wrong with any vegan desserts, right? I also got to try out Carla Lee's nut tacos, which I thought were pretty good. By Morningstar, I got to try out the vegan burger meat lovers, so I thought that was pretty good. It's not quite as great as the Beyond Meat burger, but it was enough for me to feel satisfied. While I was on vacation, I made the homemade vegan tuna salad, and trying it for the first time, it's been a very, very long time since I tried out tuna, but I do remember the taste, and the chickpea tuna salad was actually really good. I was easily impressed. I got to try out these snack shiitake mushroom things from Costco that I thought were really good. The only thing I wasn't a huge fan of was the aftertaste, but it still tasted pretty good. And then finally, last but most definitely not least, I had a chance to try out Dr. Prager's All-American Veggie Burger, and again, this one is not as great as the Beyond Meat burger, but it still tasted pretty good, and I was relatively impressed by how great it actually tasted, so that is definitely a plus. For dessert, I remember I tried out these Magnum bars or whatever you call them, but I've seen that on YouTube somewhere, and I was actually really curious to try it out, and I could never find where it actually was at, but then I had a chance to try it out, and it was relatively creamy and delicious, and I was really impressed by how good it actually was. So yeah, really, really good bar. I was easily impressed. But those have been the foods that I tried out and actually loved for the month of June and July. So for the the songs that I actually had a chance to listen to during the month of June and July. As you guys already know, I went to go see Breaking Benjamin concert. I actually got to re-listen to 3 Days Grace and Chevelle's songs all over again after that concert, because I had forgotten all about how great their music was, especially Chevelle, because Chevelle was actually a group that I haven't heard in a very, very long time. So one of their songs that I actually got to re-listen to is The Red and Send the Pain Below. Those two songs were my favorite by Chevelle, and re-listening to those songs all over again made me so happy. Thinking about Breaking Benjamin still, I actually got to re-listen to some of their music again. Polyhamorous, and one of their new songs that ended up coming out not that long ago actually. It's based off of their new album, and one of their songs that I actually got to listen to that I was pretty impressed with is called Red Cold River Run, something like that. Just re-listening to Breaking Benjamin again also was very pleasing to my ears, and Breaking Benjamin is just awesome generally, so I was really happy about that. Those have been my favorite songs to listen to for the month of June and July. So this section of the video I usually don't share too much on, but lately there has been a few items in particular that I have been really loving lately. One of them was something I tried out very recently, and this is another one of these things that unfortunately I have not covered in a previous monthly video before either, but I figured I would go ahead and share it anyway, because it's never too late to share, right? So anyway, I've been hearing a lot of good things about this random tool thing, obviously for your face, and it is this utensil right here. It's like a rose quartz massager face thing. To be honest with you, I'm still ignorant about like how this thing actually works, but I've been rolling both sides on my face, and I swear to you that obviously I can't do it now because I'm wearing makeup today, as you guys can already tell, but basically once I'm done washing my face and whatever else I need to do, I just randomly roll this like on my face obviously and to my neck, and obviously with a small roller I just mainly use it for like my nose and my eyes a little bit. This long piece I actually use for my neck and the rest of my face. So since I've been using it, my face has been feeling really nice and smooth, and just has been feeling so wonderful for my skin lately. So I have been loving this product for my skin so religiously ever since I got this. I have been loving this really great cold sensation on my face, so this is actually really nice to have. And of course, final thing I wanted to point out, but most definitely not least, to be honest with you guys, I have no exact idea as to what this has to do with the random items section, but I figured I would go ahead and point this out anyway. So as you guys pretty much know, I've been working on my manuscript for a good 10 years now, but it's been off for like months or even years in between. And one thing that really irritated me was that basically I knew how I wanted the middle and the end to pretty much finish and wrap up the whole entire story, but I just could never understand how I could actually go about trying to write the beginning of the story for some weird reason. I don't know why, but this year I decided to do something a little bit different, and this is pretty strange for me to say this now, but I would just randomly bring my laptop computer with me back there. I would bring it with me on my vacation, and the most stupidest thing is that I would take it with me, right? But I would never work on it. And I thought it was really pointless for me to just bring it with me this year on vacation because, hello, I mean, it finally took me this long to finally figure out that I can't bring my laptop computer on my vacation anymore. But this year, I decided to do something a little bit different, and I decided to use a notebook instead. So, ever since I got this notebook, I've been writing in this manuscript in this notebook so religiously that I've been doing it like days now, except for weekends, holidays, and you know, birthdays, special events, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I've been working on this manuscript so religiously, and I'm so glad that I finally opened up my eyes and came to the realization that I should start working on a notebook instead of my laptop. Because my laptop at the moment is such a pain in the ass to work with, so I'm glad I decided to think of something else different that I should work on my manuscript for outside of technology and stuff. I mean, I'll still write my manuscript on my laptop computer, but still, I decided to do something a little bit different by writing in my manuscript physically through a notebook. So that's what I've been doing. And ever since I started writing in my notebook on my manuscript, I've been sticking with it till this very day. So hopefully either by the end of the year or hopefully by next year sometime in the future, I'm hoping to get it published because it's been my long-time dream to publish my story because, I don't know, I just got this inspiration from playing Final Fantasy X and Tomb Raider, and for some weird reason it clicked into my head and I decided to write a story about it. I'm not gonna spoil anything on what it is about. Once it gets published, maybe I'll do that sometime in the future, but for now, I'm just keeping it really private because, you know, I don't want anybody to steal my ideas or anything like that. So, yeah, I've been working on this project for quite some time now, and each time I work on it, I get so excited for my next project on what I should write next. So yeah, this has been feeling really great lately, that I feel like I'm accomplishing something by writing into this manuscript again. So kudos to myself for finally rewriting my story again. So yeah, when the time comes, I would love to share my book in the future if it does get published. So yeah, but basically that's been my items for the whole entire month of June and July. So that is basically pretty much everything that I thought I would share with you guys for the whole entire month of June and July. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video so much. So if you did, be sure to sucker punch that like button down below. Comment down below as well. Let me know what's been your favorites for June and July. Anything at all, leave it in the comments down below. And of course, if you guys are completely new to this channel, and if you haven't done so already, please do dedicate the time and effort to subscribe to my lovely channel, join my little army of darkness, and if you hit that notification button, you will be updated with brand new videos every single Friday. And now that I'm finally back from my vacation, I can start uploading videos on Fridays now, so you're welcome. If you guys are interested in following me outside of YouTube, all of my social medias will be listed in the description box right down below if you are indeed interested in checking them out yourself. It feels really great to be back, and I just got back recently, last Monday. The day that I'm actually filming is on a Tuesday, and normally I do film on a Monday, but yesterday was actually last Monday that I ended up getting back from my vacation. When I got back, actually, I didn't get to, film on Friday that day because of a few following reasons, actually. Number one, my mother was visiting me from Indiana just so she can go to my brother's graduation, which was pretty exciting that that happened. And, there were other things that were also going on, but I just don't want to get into that because, it's too personal. But regardless, I'm back. And I'm really happy that I'm gonna start making YouTube videos again. So this ought to be very interesting for new video projects to come. So expect that sometime in the very near future. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a completely chill week, an awesome day or night, and I will talk to you all soon in the next video. So until then, stay completely dark and so fucking brutal and awesome, my friends. Take care. Bye for now.